FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And in this video guys, we're going to do something a little bit different than what we've done before. We're going to do some weekly analysis on some pairs, primarily pound and euro pairs, and just take a look and see what the possibilities are for the upcoming week. That way hopefully you can have a better idea of what's going on. Alright, so without further ado guys, let's get this started. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Also, if you haven't joined us yet, please go to fxntrading.com, create a free account, and join us in our Telegram group where we have a large community of traders that are helping each other trade and becoming better traders. All right, guys. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started with this video today. All right, guys. So welcome back to another video. I know that the videos for the last 3 weeks have been very inconsistent, and I apologize for that, but I was on vacation, so now that I'm back, we should go back to a normal routine here of uploads. All right, so I'm gonna try a couple different types of videos, and this is just to see what's good, what's bad, what you guys like, what you guys don't like. Let me know in the comments, obviously, as the next a couple of videos that come out, whether you like that type of content or not. That way, we have something to basically create on either a weekly or on a daily basis. All right, guys. So let's just start out with the pound pairs, since they're the simplest ones to get into. So on the pound pairs, primarily pound Swiss, pound USD, pound CAD, and pound JPY. Very similar price action happening with all of these pairs. All right, essentially on a bigger time frame, you can see that they're essentially creating a potentially huge W here. Okay, and like I said, potentially. So here's my my take on these pairs here. Personally, these pairs have been on a downtrend for a while, obviously. So I all these pairs right now are literally doing the exact same thing. The only two pairs that are different, and they'll always be different, is pound NZD, pound AUD. Those are doing two completely different things. So won't talk about those in this video. But with these pound pairs right now, they're literally all doing the same thing. They're bouncing off and creating a big W on a daily chart, which could be a good thing for the pound, in general. Lately it's been taking a beating because of Brexit and everything, but hopefully we can get a bounce back, because we really, if it goes below a certain, these levels right now, I mean, it hasn't gone below those levels since at least 2003 or so. So it'll be in unknown territory, which makes it pretty dangerous because it's very unpredictable to tell where it'll stop and stuff like that, because you don't have any structure to compare it to. But when we talk about these pound pairs here, we had a downtrend, and then we had basically a cross here, the 5 and 13 on a daily. And then basically the way I look at it is pretty simple. I look at the 50, 200, and 800 as kind of like, think of them like train stops is what I like to call them. First stop is the 50, then the 200, then the 800 potentially. So we've already had the crossover. We had the first stop at the 50, and then now it's moving towards the 200. So it is gonna, I believe it's gonna get to the 200. We're looking at, that'll be like 125, 500 area. So essentially, how do you make this tradable for you guys, right? Because this is essentially a daily chart. Well, for this to go up to the 200, I would expect the pullback, which is what it's doing now. So I'd expect the pullback to happen first, and then I would want to be a buyer and be buying up until at least a 200 EMA on a daily chart for the pound. And that should get you some very decent pips, over 200 and something pips at least on pound Swiss. Now, is this going to happen all in 1 week? Probably not. It's going to take probably some time. Granted, just from here to here, took, I don't know, like 2 weeks to do. So, don't know how long this is actually going to take to do, but I do believe this is going to continue in an uptrend at least until the 200 on pound Swiss. That'll be, like I said, the 125 500 area. If we go to the pound USD, very same thing, guys. You can see this is happening. Expect again retracement, and then from the retracement, a move potentially all the way back up to the 200. That'll be basically like the 26 600 area. By the time this makes it over here, though, it might be, let's say 26 even, potentially. It depends on how fast it moves, but we're still about, close to 200 pips away from that particular move. So we still have plenty of gain to get here. Pound CAD, same thing, making the retracement now, and you'll be looking for an opportunity to buy. So wait for these retracements to happen on pound pairs, and then you can be a buyer on those pound pairs. And again, the target should be the 200 EMA. So on pound CAD, should be around, let's say, the 67, 1.67 700 or so, maybe 500, around that area, depending on how fast this moves up. This will obviously adjust, and this will continue to come down. And then on pound JPY, same thing, wait for the retracement, and we're looking at the 138 000. Okay, so those are essentially the outlooks for the pound pairs. Very simple, and I try to keep it very simple for you guys, so easy to understand. The only way that this does not make it to the 200, and this is on all the pound pairs, we'd have to come back and basically break below the 50. Okay, if it comes all the way back down and breaks below the 50, that's a different story. But I don't foresee that happening. Okay, so hopefully this will continue up on an uptrend and make it to the 200 on a daily chart. All right, so you can go down to, let's say, the lower time frames, like a 4 hour or something, and see when this these retracements will be over, and then you can go ahead and start and moving along. What you can do is you can take a line here and just throw it on where the 200 is, so at least it gives you a guide when you're in the lower time frames of where you're trying to get to, essentially. Okay, so when you go to the lower time frames on these pound pairs, you might notice that they might make the retracements, let's say, to this EMA here, the 13, or they might go all the way down to, let's say, the 50 here, and then go back up. So these are all points that you can look for, essentially, for the retracement to go to on the lower time frames. Okay, if we go over to, let's say, if we go over to the Euro JPY pair, you can see essentially very similar, where we had a huge downtrend for a while, and then now we had a crossover on the daily. We've already passed the 50, and essentially now we just came back down today as the market opened to retag the 50, or retest the 50, essentially. So if this retest holds, if that 50 holds, you can expect, again, price to continue to go up, and potentially to all the way to the 200 EMA. So you'd be looking, let's say, somewhere around 122 500 or 600 or so, which is huge, obviously a huge move, about 300 pip move. Again, this won't happen, this could happen over 2 weeks, I don't know. But if that 50 holds here on Euro JPY, definitely you want to be a buyer going up higher. Okay. The only way that you don't want to be a buyer in this is, of course, if the 50 does not hold, then you would become a seller, as it's going to continue coming down at least to retest that low. That's like 1600 area there. All right. If we go over to Euro AUD, that's not good. If we look at, let's say, Euro Pound here essentially had a huge uptrend, as you can see on a daily, reversed, got to the 50, passed it, now it's at the 200. So here we have an interesting dilemma here for Euro Pound, is that if we pass the 200 here, we go back up to retest that 200. If that 200 holds, then you could potentially expect to move all the way back down to the 800 EMA. That's about the 8700 mark on the chart there. So if this 200 doesn't hold, then you can expect price at least to go back up to the 50 here to retest that 50. So that's what essentially I would expect on Euro Pound, is depending on what happens here within the next couple of days. When it goes back up to retest this 200, does that 200 hold, or does it pass right through it? So if it holds, you know you're a seller. If it passes right through it, then you're a buyer, at least until the 50. Let's see. Euro CAD. So Euro CAD here, you see we were in a downtrend, had a reversal, had a crossover just happen. We went up to the 50, tested it, came back down, and we'll see what happens here. Does it essentially, when it gets here to, let's say, the 5 and 13, does it get stopped out here? Can these hold it and then go back up? If not, it'll just continue to go back down. All right. Euro USD essentially just had a crossover here, so I'm going to be looking for this to test the 50 here, which is let's say 111, triple zero. By the time it gets up there, and we'll see if this 50 holds. If it does hold, then obviously you're going to be a seller. If it doesn't hold, you're going to be a buyer up until the 200, which is about 112 500 area. All right. And let's say on Euro Swiss, same thing, downtrend, and we just had a crossover here on the daily. We went up to the 50 EMA here, and we're testing that out now. So if this 50 holds, you're going to be a seller. If the 50 does not hold, you're going to be a buyer long term, potentially trying to hit 111,500, which should be about the 200 EMA there. All right, so guys, that's my opinion on these euro and pound pairs. Again, this is not going to take this may take a week or two to do. I don't know, we'll have to see and find out, but that's my analysis on where price could go on these pairs. If you like these type of videos, guys, let me know in the comments. Give this video a like and share the content, guys. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to make these videos for you guys, and enjoy your week of trading.